Third-party identification services are related to identity as a service, but it's this notion that you can use a third party or a service provider to log into sites on your behalf or provide that authentication of users on your behalf. Users frequently have multiple identities, be it from Google, Facebook, Twitter. They already have accounts with services that they trust and they use every day. So why not be able to leverage that trust and that existing authentication mechanism with your own sites? So enter this idea of third-party identification, but it allows a trusted third-party service to manage and delegate the identity for another application or another web service or something to that effect. These use tokens rather than another username and password. So if my site trusts, let's say, Facebook to provide identity authentication, I'll relay that request to Facebook. Facebook will make sure the user is who they say they are, and they will send me back a token which says this user is valid. At that point, I know that who I'm dealing with on the user side is legit, and I can allow them access to the website. As a graphical example, we'll take this. We have this user down here at the bottom. And this is a user who's requesting access to a web page, let's say. Up there in the upper left, we have this client. Now, the terminology here, just be careful. When we say client, we're talking about client of a third-party identification service. That client really could be another web server or a web application, something like that. But they're the client in this case because they're requesting identification services through this trusted third party. So the user is going to send a request access up to the client, up to the original web server up there. The web server is going to go, okay, I don't have my own identity management service, so I'm going to rely on Facebook or something like that. And so I'm going to send the request to Facebook and says, I have Chris trying to log into my website. Facebook, can you authenticate him for me? Then you have step 3 here. The trusted third party is sending a request down to me as the user for authentication. Username, password, whatever. And so I'll send my password back and I'll say, this is Chris, here's my password. Facebook, as the trusted service provider there, the identity service provider, will validate my username and password and say, is this legit? Yep, these are the correct credentials. We'll go ahead and issue the token through step 5 there, sends the token back to the website that I was trying to log into originally, and says, Chris is validated. He has the right username and password. Go ahead and log him in. And then the last step there, the client would then allow me access to the website based on the fact that I've authenticated with Facebook. And that's how third-party identification works.